This was a movie that was made back though in about 1993 when anime was starting to get popular here, I think. But
was that another Harmony Gold project?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds exactly like Harmony Gold.
Harmony Gold, yes. May they rest in peace. Okay, in any event, I guess I'm proving myself to be the old curmudgeon here then. So, okay, now.
Mid '90s, I think most of us would have been.
Kindergarten.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we're like the Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z.
I think. Man, I remember watching Dragon Ball Z.
I know my story is similar, just with more current stuff.
Okay, let's see. The first actual anime I got. Let's see if anyone recognizes this. They would be like the original Oh My Gosh OVA and the Vampire Princess Miyu OVA, the 4-episode one, and the Rama 1/2 show when it was first showing up on VHS in stores. And the first actual anime that I saw, knowing it was an anime, was Project Echo. Everyone remember that somewhat?
I've heard of them.
Okay, they're pretty much the older mid-90s. Well, I guess moving on away from just what I'm doing, debate or visual K? Debate's here, visual K's there. Sorry, there are more people making decisions. Okay.
Oh, dude, now I know what anime she's from.
Yeah, she's
It
either
just
girl or
hit.
didn't know.
all I needed was the sniper rifle. Oh, God.
Okay, let's see. So I don't know if there's anyone.
She got her gun yet?
She got her gun.
I feel like such a loser.
Oh, I get it.
Blueberries.
I'm late to the joke, but still.
There are
Okay.
berries for everyone.
Well,
and
let's-
we'll take handfuls.
Let me move on. Let's move on to let's just say instead of mid-90s, the anime fan base from early in the thousands, early in the 00s. I don't know if anyone was still pretty young then.
Let's see. I would have been about 8 in 2010, so.
The original Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, the original one I got to watch when I was younger.
Well, actually, the late 90s is when Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon was on TV. So,
Got Pokemon and all that.
okay, let's put it this way. One of the things that are oftentimes debated is that a lot of the fan base nowadays can get a little bit more rabid and of the assumption that if it isn't actually made in Japan, it's not any good, or if it isn't an anime, it's no good, or if it's a American or Disney show, it's not as good as a Japanese anime show, or whatnot, and basically trying to be Japanese themselves. Otherwise, the obsessive fans, there are more of them now than there were back in 2003, 2000 itself, 1998 or so. So maybe maybe the topic I'd want to bring up is perhaps, is the anime fandom better or worse now than it was back in 2003 or so? With, like, I don't know if I should divide it up again. Okay.
Well, I feel like with new technology and new anime coming out, I feel like a lot of the new stuff is very beautiful. Like the animation is very clean and the characters are very beautiful. So I feel like a lot of young fans find that really appealing. And so they'll go like, oh, I love such and such show because I love such and such character, as opposed to, back in the day when, we were fine with Dragon Ball Z. We were fine with, pretty, mediocre animation with great characters and a great plot, or like Cowboy Bebop, back in the day. And now, new fans don't even know what that is. It's like you say, oh man, the ending of Cowboy Bebop. I'm like, what? I only know such and such thing. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of sad.
Don't judge me, Eric.
Well, how
I
about
remember.
before we go on with this, why don't we say, the older generation here, newer generation over here, doesn't matter in the middle.
Man, I get to stay right where I'm at.
That way we can move things around.
I don't even know.
Right here.
Or if you don't want, if you're not in the discussion, go here too.
I have no idea what the heck
I
you're
have-
talking about.
I have company back here.
Like, oh, I'm talking about like, if anime was better in the early part of the 2000s here, if it's better now, the fan base and anime itself, and the anime, so both. If it was better here, if it was better before, better now, or okay as it is, or all of it's okay.
Give my stuff.
This is,
Like after
looks
this
like more of a
discussion,
one.
Yeah, after this.
This is pretty much one-sided, so I think we're all just, I think there's not really much room for discussion then.
Wait, which
That's
side
why
is
we're going
which?
this way, John. You should come up here and be the one there. You know you were going this way.
So everyone's pretty much
I'm
in
more of an
agreement
observer
of
anyways.
a lot of the anime and the fans are pretty much no better or worse than they were before.
I think
Well,
it depends on the series.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It really depends on the series, because like Macross is such a niche fandom now. I meet some of the best people through the Macross fandom, just because they've stuck with it since the first aired in like the 80s and stuff like that. But then you also get, you know, like when I got into Naruto, that was some horrible fandom. You know, and things like Hitalia. When I first got into it, it started out as a small fandom.
Same.
There was a group of people who liked it because they liked history, and now it's just
Now it's
exploded
nuts.
into something that's a little out of control. So it really just depends on the series.
It used to be a backwater, hilarious anime, and now a lot of people are looking at it as mainstream.
Well, it's because it is niche.
Well,
Funimation picked it
well,
up.
it is mainstream,
Yeah.
but like, it was less known here, was more of a Japanese
Yes.
thing, and now it's got more of a, you know.
And not to mention the dub completely changed it.
Oh
So.
my
don't even.
I can't even talk
Yeah,
about
they
it.
did. Funimation did it. It was horrible.
It's awful.
Yeah. Well, I'm more along the lines of I actually watched the Macross shows and a lot of the older Robotech shows too. They were actually pretty good ones. But, yeah, for a reason. So, but
Any of the new Macross stuff?
the new Macross stuff, I haven't
Frontier?
seen much of that.
Okay.
I've only seen like the original Macross show
Okay.
and
Plus
like
or
Macross.
seven?
Well, I've seen Macross Plus the movie and Macross 2 the movie, and seen the original Macross TV show. I own the
I haven't
Macross
seen
movie and I want to burn it with, I want to kill it with fire.
I love Do You Remember Love? That movie is really good.
That was a movie that I
That
watched.
was-
Do you remember?
that
I'll
was-
play it.
Maybe, I don't know, it's just because like I started with Frontier, and then I went back and watched SDF and watched the Do You Remember Love movie. And
Yeah.
it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And now there's a new Macross project, and it's possible it works across the road.
That'd be great. I also remember watching an old show called Armor Trooper Botones. I don't know if anyone's seen that. That's really old though. That's like 80s animated. So are the fans any better or worse or pretty much the same now than they were back originally in the Macross era or original Dragon Ball Z era?
I think when you get smaller numbers, it's harder to notice the people who really are just off the walls about it. Like, when you get a big fan base, you get a lot of people who are just explosive. You're more likely to see the explosive person than the person who just sits in front of their computer and watches it every day before they go to sleep.
All right.
So, I mean, I don't know, I don't feel like the fans have changed as much as when things get bigger, it's easier to notice the oddballs.
Yeah. And there were a lot, and of course people like myself who've been around, who've been into anime when it was kind of, when myself and whoever else was into it could consider it our own little sort of secret interest that we stumbled upon. Oh, no, it's not. Because back in the mid-90s, there were only a few people who were into anime. I mean, even fewer than now. And it was kind of a whole sort of, it's kind of, everyone who was into anime felt like they were in kind of an underground sort of subculture.